Hey guys, hope you're all crispy and crunchy. It's Serial Matt here, and welcome to the 9th episode of DDLC PMNS, aka Doki Doki Literature Club Purist mod, the Natsuki route. Well, what a way too long name. Anyway, last time we got on a date. We went on a date with Natsuki to the park. We had a picnic. It was pretty nice. It was decent. We were looking at the clouds for about an hour. It was okay. And the following night, she had a nightmare, probably about her dad. Probably not about her dad, because she said it was in my room. So it was probably about me or my dad, or me and my dad. Not my dad, her dad. Anyway, I'm getting confused. And apparently, we continued to go on dates for at least over a month. It says down here. So what happened after that month? We're gonna find out. Things were pretty normal, but on some occasions I noticed a tall man that Natsuki would glare at for a few moments. She never told me who he was. Not until today. Natsuki and I were about to go on a date at the time. We had picked a fast food restaurant to go to, but just before we walked in, Natsuki saw that man again. "Let's go somewhere else." Before I could object, she grabbed me by the arm and tried to drag me away. That is, until he spoke up. "You, over there. I need to ask you something." I froze, not even Natsuki being able to move me. Yeah? I had no idea what to think at the time. Who was this guy? Am I about to be dead? Well, no need to be over dramatic. "Are you dating Natsuki?" I gulped. Yes? That's all I wanted to know, thank you. And then he just walked away, leading me to right now, where I'm left extremely confused. Anxiety clouded my thoughts. Yeah, I was definitely about to be dead. What did he even want with me? What did he even want with you? "Calm down, Matty." Natsuki grabs my shoulder, but I'm still shaking. How am I supposed to calm down? This reeks of creepiness. Natsuki looks down at the ground. He's my dad." What? "I said I don't want you to get involved. If it comes down to it, then I'll handle it." Natsuki has a determined look on her face. Just what am I missing here? "Are you sure you can handle it, though? I'm not trying to downplay your strength, but I feel like there's something deeper going on here that I'm not being told about. "You care too much, Matty. You really do." Natsuki clenches her fists, her face being a mixture of irritated and sad. "Let's go home, Natsuki." Oh, let's go home, Natsuki. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was kind of creepy. We head home as Natsuki sighs and walks towards my room. Maybe I should do something for her. Is there something nice I could surprise her with? Maybe scrambled eggs. As I sit down on my couch, I notice a flyer sitting on the coffee table in front. Parfait Girls, the movie, huh? In theaters tomorrow too? Natsuki did tell me about it a while ago, I think. This was supposed to be an original story, not the manga or anime, right? "Hey Natsuki!" I shout as I walk into my room. She's laying on my bed, still seeming conflicted. "Are you free tomorrow?" "Am I ever not free?" Thinking about it, I don't think I've ever run into a situation where she was too busy or something like that. "Well, I'm taking a nap. I promise tomorrow will be good." I lay down on the bed and close my eyes. Good night. Jesus, this is dark. I soon fall into a deep sleep and find myself waking up in the middle of the night. Why wasn't Natsuki next to me, though? I slowly walk into the living room. I turn over to the kitchen and see Natsuki getting something out of the fridge. "Natsuki, why are you up so late?" Natsuki, shocked to hear someone awake, drops the food she's holding. Luckily, nothing breaks. "I could ask you the same thing." "Hey, I woke up just a few minutes ago. I don't think you went to sleep the same time. I did, though." "I'm probably stressing you out with this, aren't I?" Natsuki rushes back to my room, ashamed. "Natsuki!" I planned on going back to sleep anyway, so I head back to my room and see Natsuki laying on my bed, her face buried in a pillow. You're not stressing me at all, Natsuki. I might get a bit concerned, sure, but nothing I can deal with. You know, I've actually recently been thinking about telling you. Telling me what? You already know, Matty. Is this about her dad? But I can't bring myself to do it. I don't know if I ever will. Even though I can't see her face, it sounds like she's crying. One step at a time, Natsuki. I can get into bed with her. Now, hold my hand. Natsuki tightly grips my hand. There, feel a bit calmer? Get some rest. I said I had something planned for tomorrow, didn't I? You'll like it, believe me. Natsuki stops making noise, which leads me to assume that she's fallen asleep. I should probably do the same. As I wake up the next morning, I notice that Natsuki is sound asleep. One of the first times I've ever woke up before her, now that I think about it. While I leave my room to make breakfast, I feel a tinge of anxiety. I ignore it for now, but how long can I keep this up? How long until I break? Certainly not something I want to think about while making scrambled eggs, so I don't. Instead, once I'm done making breakfast, I go back to my room and use my time to order tickets online for the Parfait Girls movie I plan on taking Natsuki to. I check back in my room and see that Natsuki is awake. Still concerned for her, I ask her how she's doing. Feeling any better? A little. Good. Remember, I've got something neat in store for later today. Wake me up when it happens then. You're going back to bed? Natsuki turns over and tries going back to sleep. Oh yeah, you do. My mind starts to drift towards worrying again, but I don't want to keep worrying like this. Not yet again. A few hours pass and it's almost time for us to go. Ready, Natsuki? Natsuki groggily responds. For what? Oh jeez, that was loud, sorry. You already forgot? You never even told me what we're doing yet. Natsuki gets out of bed. That's true. Well, how about you find out now? I hold up the tickets I printed earlier. Huh? Actually, it's not that surprising. I already knew you were getting the tickets. Oh? Yesterday, I would have asked if we could go, but you know how tired I was. Earlier today, though, I was going to try to ask, but I caught a glimpse of when you were printing the tickets, so... I guess she must have gotten a glass of water or something, and I didn't notice with the printer drowning the sound out. Anyway, it's not long until it starts, so let's go. Shortly after we head outside us, I lead Natsuki to a movie theater. Why are we doing this anyway? Not that I'm upset or anything. I don't know, you seem to be having a hard time lately, so I thought I'd do something to take your mind off it. Natsuki doesn't look grateful that often, but when she does, it's unbelievably satisfying. Thank you, seriously, I don't deserve any of this. Well, I deserve some of it, but still. If nothing else, at least Natsuki seems to be going back to being her old self. Yeah, that really sounded like herself. We walk up to the man at the ticket counter. 2 seats for the 3:30 or 3:30 p.m. screening of Parfait Girls, please. Jesus, I'm struggling. Actually, it's a cinema or a theater, or whatever you would like to call it. Is it on the street? Because we're still standing like in the middle of the street. Go ahead. Now we're talking about what we're talking about. Natsuki and I walk into the theater. The lobby is gigantic, containing more than enough space for a place like this. Yeah. The snack vendor is full of delicious treats filled with traditional movie theater snacks from around the world. Popcorn, nachos. That's it. Actually, do you get these out of a vendor? I don't think. Anyway, what am I thinking about again? That, of course, wasn't the main attraction. We head into the cinema room where the movie is supposed to play, only to find out we were the only people who showed up. Okay. Did we arrive on time? It's 3:30 now, isn't it? But hey, we do have front row seats. Not that it matters. Actually, front row in the cinema is actually that good. I prefer sitting way more in the back, because you have a better view of everything. We sit down next to each other as the movie begins. It begins. Yes, yes. Wow. I absolutely enjoyed that. How about you? You watching this, not anybody in the game. You, right, watching this. How did you enjoy it? So, what do you think of it, Natsuki? I don't know if it lived up to the hype, but I thought it was decent. Well, it can't be that hyped if you were the only people in the room, but okay. Same here, I was unsure about how well they could adapt the series into a movie, but they did a pretty good job. I pull away my arm that was wrapped around Natsuki's shoulders and stand up. Time to go home. Hey, Matty, there's something I wanted to say first. Natsuki looks off to the side, like she always does when she's nervous. What is it? Thanks. I've never had a boyfriend like you, or a boyfriend at all. Or even a friend like you. Or anyone at all like you. You're the only one who takes me to movies I want to watch, or makes food with me. Food. You're the only one who's been this nice to me. So, if I'm ever mean towards you, you know part of the reason why. I'm shocked by how kind you are, so I don't always know how to react. And I think a lot about how other people see me, since I want to be the best. So, that's also part of it. This is stupid, sorry for wasting your time. Natsuki's head droops as she gets up and heads towards the exit. What's going on, Natsuki? What's the final piece of this puzzle I'm missing? Next flashback. Natsuki, we need to talk about your grades. Yeah, so, what about them? You know what I'm referring to. My grades suck, there you go. What else is new? This has to change. I don't know if you'll need a tutor or something, but we can't let things keep going like this. We can't let you be held back a second time, Natsuki. So what if I am? So what if I am? Is it really that big of a deal? We both know that your education is important. Even then, how are my grades supposed to change if the situation that I live in won't change? How are my grades supposed to get better if living here doesn't get better? Going through all this, I can only do so much. What are you going to do if you get held back again then? What will you tell your friends? Will you lie about your age to the people you meet? Were you listening to anything I even said? I did, but you're missing my point. No, I get your point, but you don't seem to get mine. But if that's how you want to go about this, then fine. It's not like I can do anything about this anyway. It's not like I was ever able to do anything about the things going on in my life. Ooh. How did her dad actually treat her? Because he seems to not really have treated her like a daughter properly. More like a slave. Things continued as normal for the next few days. Actually, I don't know if I'd consider it normal. Something definitely fell off, and in the middle of one night, I would learn why. It had to have been around 3 a.m. at the time. Natsuki and I were asleep, until I heard a loud noise along the lines of a thud. I turned towards Natsuki's side and saw that she rolled out of the bed. I didn't think much of it initially. I thought she had another nightmare or something, and it happened because of her tossing and turning. To some degree, that was true, but it was what I found when I looked at her after she fell that I discovered a horrifying fact. When she fell, her shirt shifted in a way that her right shoulder became visible, and the final puzzle piece I had been looking for had finally appeared. Jeez, this is some deep piano music. She looked up at me, albeit groggily. She had just woken up after all. Natsuki? What's with that bruise? Natsuki? And here I am now, shocked and furious to see such a thing. I could spend time coming up with a bunch of other possibilities explaining why she has that bruise, but there was no point. Everything already fit together. Thoughts rushed through my head. The reason why she has a bruise. The reason she came to live with me. The reason she acts the way she does towards her dad. There is no other explanation. Maybe I'm just jumping the gun, but this is the conclusion I have to come to. Natsuki was hit by her dad. If that isn't bad enough, the potential implications could have been worse, even worse. I feel dizzy. Now what? Now how do I handle this? It's not like I can't ignore this. I was able to ignore it before, but that was because I didn't realize what was going on. I didn't realize the seriousness of the situation. But now that I do, I have something to do. Matty, this bruise, don't bother. I already know. Natsuki has a guilty expression on her face. Are you mad at me, Matty? I don't have any excuses anymore. Before, I hid it from you since I thought I was doing the right thing by keeping you out of this, but I'm not mad at you. I wish I didn't have to find it out like this, but it's not you I'm upset with, Natsuki. I'd say that we should discuss this tomorrow, but I don't think either of us feel like going back to sleep. I motion for Natsuki to get up as she gets back in bed. Do you want anything to drink? Are you hungry? No. I want to get this over with. Natsuki's face is a continuous whirlwind of emotion. Fear, regret, and sadness all cycle through at the same time. When did this happen, Natsuki? As I talk, I get back into bed as well. The comfort I got from laying down covered in the blankets was gone now. Remember that day when I snapped at you and said I hated everyone? It's not a good memory to go back to, but yes. After I ran out of the classroom, I headed home right after. Then I was having an argument with my dad as usual, and I stopped her right there. Hold up, as usual? Does this happen often or something? I'd have to go back a bit further to explain. I feel bad for interrupting again, but I need to get the bruise out of the way first. Sorry, go back to the story. We can talk about the rest later. Yeah, so I was arguing with my dad, and then it escalated. And then Natsuki shows me her bruise again. Then you ran to my house, didn't you? Yeah. Sorry, I haven't fully processed this yet. It's been over a month since then, though. Shouldn't your bruise have faded out at this point? I don't know, I thought about that too, but I didn't want to tell anyone, so... Again, we can focus on that later. I think I understand everything now, but I need to ask you more about the situation with your dad. Was it always like this? Natsuki takes a deep breath. My home life used to be fine, or at least better. It wasn't amazing or anything, which has to do a lot with how tight our money situation was. My mom passed away early into my childhood, so my dad took care of me from that point on. He wasn't the worst father ever or anything. He got mad a lot, but not nearly as mad as he's gotten over these past few years. Did something happen to make him more upset like that? I don't know, maybe he just couldn't deal with everything put together. Him and my mom were apparently married for 15 years before they had me. I think raising a child with his wife was too important for him to put into words. Our money situation has gotten worse recently too. We haven't totally sunk yet, although it has to be tough for him. That doesn't justify what he did. I didn't say it does. I'm mad about this too. I sigh. This is so much to take it all at once. Maybe I really should have waited until tomorrow to talk about this, but it's too late for that now. As the years went by, my dad started to distance himself from me. Well, it's more like he distanced herself. Sorry, I need to drink something. Oh, my mouth was all dry. Well, it's not more... Still can't read though. Well, it's more like he distanced himself from everyone. He can do that if he wants, but he still has a daughter to take care of. Occasionally making dinner isn't enough. I felt neglected because of it. It was like I did something wrong, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Does he drink, Natsuki? No, I don't think so. I never saw him drink anyway. As I was saying, I would argue with him a lot about how I was treated. It wasn't only neglect that was a problem. It was how he acted towards other things too. He had this perfect idea of what he wanted his daughter to be like. He was willing to give some leeway, but not enough to let me do the things like keep my manga collection at home. He wanted to have that much control over your life when he could barely take care of himself. Well, basically, wow. The more I hear of this, the more I feel bad for Natsuki. What she had been going through is not how someone should have to live. Because he wanted me to be the best daughter ever, that's what he taught me for years to do. He wanted me to rise above everyone else. And yeah, wanting me to be successful is one thing, but he didn't have to push it onto you as hard as he did, right? Yeah, and it wasn't exactly for him focusing on only my grades either. I've never been good enough at school to be a straight A student anyway. He told me to be the best socially too, and to have the most friends. That even though it might not always work out, to make sure to try to talk to people. I never figured out what to do. I never wanted to figure out if I should take advice from him of all people. It didn't really matter though. In the end, I had a hard time making friends because I had trouble trusting people, thanks to him. I can't even think right now. My mind is frozen. Like I said, I didn't want to end up the way I did. Things just happened that way. Sometimes I'd try to be nice, but a lot of times I didn't want to show any weakness. I don't get why it happened that way, but it did. Natsuki pauses, taking a deep breath. Remembering all this can't be easy. I think the reason why he was so obsessed with me being successful is because of himself. I think he didn't want me to turn out the way he did. Natsuki looks like she's about to break down. Regardless, there's something I need to know. Natsuki, do you still care for him? Natsuki thought long and hard about that question, as we sat in complete silence. A part of me does. Okay, let me make sure we're on the same page here. What your dad did to you is abuse. I need to make something clear. Another one of his actions was undeniable, unjustifiable. Neglect towards you. Oh yeah. How do you fully feel about him? Just think of everything, Natsuki. I give Natsuki a few minutes while I wait for her to come up with an answer. Learning all this is so surreal. It's like when you know something's wrong, but only later realize the extent of how awful it is. I think it's funny how this turned out. Not that kind of funny, but I'm talking more about how I came to find out about this. Natsuki seemed bent on not letting me find out about this situation. She didn't always do a great job, but she continued to try hiding it. But then there's tonight. Because my bed is up against the wall, you can only fall off of it if you lay down on the left side. I was the first one to get into bed that night, and I laid down the right side. So the only option for Natsuki to lay down on the left side was for Natsuki to lay down on the left side. If that didn't happen, she wouldn't have fallen off the bed. I wouldn't have seen her bruise, and I would never have learned the truth behind all this. I know I was trying to give Natsuki time to think, but a thought crossed my mind. Did your dad ever try to take his life? Huh? I asked if your dad had tried committing suicide at any point. He hasn't. I'm trying to figure something out. You said that he distanced himself from everyone. Jesus. And that you think it was because he was sick of the life piling up on him, right? He lost his wife. His financial situation was rough, and so on. I think so. Would he have tried to take his life? I'm sorry if that sounds random, but it's something I was thinking about. He had to have some reason to live, wouldn't he? Or you're looking too deep into this for it. No, I think I'm onto something. Otherwise, it leaves only two possibilities. There was another reason that he distanced himself from everyone, or he had no reason to live. There's nothing pointing to the first possibility, and I don't think it makes sense if there was either. As for the second possibility, he hadn't even attempted suicide, right? Again, you're looking way too deep into it. You can't tell how someone is feeling when you don't know them well enough. It's just not possible. I also remember you suggesting that it was possible the reason your dad was so obsessed with you being successful was because he didn't want you to see you end up like himself. What if he kept living for you? If it were true, then it would be a twisted, sick way to convey love when you look at how he treated you. But even with how angry I am at him, I can't totally ignore that maybe that was the situation. I'm even more conflicted now. There is absolutely no justifying his action. And violence is never the answer, but maybe I'm really looking at this from the wrong perspective. Perhaps there is no right perspective to this either. Again, what he did was despicable, but I do wonder. I can't believe I forgot to mention this, but this is the first time he hit you, right? That's what I have been getting from what you said. This is the first time he had hit me, yes? Back when he and my mom first got married, they agreed they would never use violence to get a point across if they ever had kids. I wonder how she would feel about this. Natsuki finally breaks into tears. It's been a long night, Natsuki. I'm proud of you for telling me all this. Natsuki struggles to speak. It's not like I had a choice. Maybe, but that doesn't make it any less difficult. How much longer is this going to last? Natsuki cries harder. Hey, I'm your boyfriend. One of the things I'm supposed to do when you're having a hard time is to comfort you. So let me do that. Let me comfort you. We both lay down and hug each other. It was the most personal, emotional hug I ever experienced. I think even I cried a little. Oh jeez, Yeah, there was no point to the alarm clock today. I didn't care what the literature club was going to think or say, but we weren't going to school today. Looking at Natsuki, seeing that she's still hugging me even while she's asleep, there is no way I could make her go to school. I don't want to leave her alone either, so that's just how it is. I'll admit I'm not totally sure about everything that was said last night. There's still many questions that I haven't been answered, plus ones that I haven't been asked. And we haven't figured out what to do about Natsuki's death if we do end up making a decision either. Regardless, I said that Natsuki could stay with me as long as she'd like. It's not like I'd break that promise after this long. I think about getting up to make breakfast, but I can wait. I want to keep Natsuki company for as long as possible. Dozens of thoughts continuing to swirl through my head. Roughly 10 minutes pass before I can drift back to sleep, Natsuki wakes up. Huh? Natsuki panics. Matty, we're about to be late for school. You didn't forget about what happened last night, right? Yeah, but... Even now, you're still pushing yourself. You have to rest, Natsuki. Natsuki looks as if she's about to fight back, only for her head to land back on the pillow. Fine. I like you, you know? A smile comes across Natsuki's face, which surprises me a little. I didn't think she'd be smiling in this situation. I like you too, Natsuki. We are dating for a reason, after all. Yeah, but I don't feel like it. I say it enough. I'm kinda crappy sometimes. But with you, I feel like I can do anything. Natsuki pulls me closer and hugs me tighter. So, stay with me, okay? Please. I don't know if she's acting like this because she's sleep deprived, or exhausted or something, but I'm not complaining or anything. Oops, wrong button. I'll stay with you as long as you want, Natsuki. You're doing a good job, Matty. Okay, this was a hard night. I mean, at least Natsuki was honest with us. She uncovered the secrets that she has been hiding for about 2 months now. Yeah, I think it's 2 months since we're actually dating. We know what happened now between Natsuki and her father. We know about the abusive behavior of her father. And it's confirmed that the bruise on her shoulder is also due to her father hitting her. But I actually hope that we are safe, because we got to see her father spying on us, which makes me still a bit uneasy. We don't know what he's able to do, we don't know what he will do, but I hope that, first of all, he won't hurt us, but secondly, that he won't hurt himself, because what my character mentioned, the whole suicide thing, kind of worries me a little, and it was kind of plausible what he said, what MC said. So yeah, we'll see what the future holds, but that's this episode for now. I hope you still enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next video.